Hello everyone, I'm Count Christo and welcome to the first episode of Global Granada. We're going to have another game in MEIOU and Taxes, this time 2.5, the Heresy update. I am lucky enough to have been given early access to this, the next major update for MEIOU and Taxes by the developers of aforementioned mod, who are very kind and gave me this. So we can have a look and I can show it to you ahead of its release. Its release is, I believe, the Saturday or the Sunday of the weekend just coming up. That's the 19th or the 20th of May. So if you're jonesing to get your hands on it, that is when you have to continue to wait until. I must mention, of course, this is not the final version. There are still some bugs to iron out, some things to fix and all that kind of thing. So don't worry if there's a couple of obvious errors still in here. They are probably going to be dealt with before it actually goes live. That said, let's play the new update. But before we play the new update, because I'm going to read you something from a web page. So, a few of the quick update features, I'm just going to tell you very briefly, 2-minute summary, before we actually get into the game, because it's exciting stuff. First off, there's development in MEIOU and Taxes, which is ludicrous. A development map mode, what is this madness? So, I'm not really sure how it works. But yeah, apparently we have base tax, production and manpower again. Don't think it makes a massive amount of difference from our perspective. I think it's mostly a matter of helping the AI decide where's valuable and helping out with a few other calculations like that. So we don't need to worry about the development too much. It's mostly, as far as I understand it, a thing to make the AI work better and the food production work better. There are also plagues in non-European countries, so we can expect to see plagues ravage India and I think China as well. Yeah, China, down here into Ethiopia and all that, just like they ravaged through Europe. Japan and East Asia, have seen big changes. We won't see that soon, but if you let me finish this spiel, I will then talk to you about my goals for this campaign, and you will learn that East Asia will, in fact, become relevant for this campaign. The Low Countries are different. How the Burgundian inheritance is calculated is different. How Burgundy gets under France and things is all different as well. Colonization has seen a huge update. There's now no more rubbish base fertility garbage, and it's fixed and it's wonderful. Thank you, M&T developers, you are gods among men, and it's fantastic. So now, if you colonize, it's actually going to make you money, which is ludicrous, I know. I did a Spain campaign, and I colonized literally the entire Americas, and I think the total American trade value after it was colonized for like 100 years was about 25 ducats. It was embarrassingly small. The trade rework, yes, look at this. New trade nodes. Or actually, I don't know if there are any new trade nodes, but they've moved. There are no more shortcuts, or at least there are less. So, for example, Egypt doesn't go straight to the Tyrrhenian. It does still go straight to the Adriatic. But if you want to get to the Tyrrhenian, you've got to take it via the Aegean or via the Barbary coast. This will actually, and there's lots and lots of examples around the world where that's also the same. There's, especially around here, you need to, if you're European and you want to get money from, let's say, let's call it basin, over to, say, Iberia. I don't know why that would become relevant, but we'll see. You're going to need to have control over lots of these nodes in order to actually get it to go across. You can't just send it down to the Moluccas. Moluccas? Looks like it. And then just send it straight across. Like, maybe you can, actually, looking at this incoming arrow. But you're going to struggle to take shortcuts to get stuff from the New World all the way across back to the Old. You're going to need to have control at lots of points all the way along the line. Loads and loads of vanilla events have been added back in, and apart from that, there's been a huge number of other changes, but I'm not going to go into all of them right now, and I don't have the full changelog, so I can't tell you all of them. I am going to do a video if you're interested in learning about all of the many wonderful changes they've made. I will do a full video on that at some point, hopefully next week at some point, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But that said, let's get into Granada. Quick 4-minute intro, you know, not too bad. So, Granada, the last bastion of Islam in the Iberian Peninsula, and we're going to see what we can do to reverse the trend of recent years, which has seen Granada driven smaller and smaller and the Muslims pushed back from their former grand holdings. We are, of course, going to try and restore the Caliphate of Cordoba, which will require us to own a whole bunch of this land, and we can form our very own empire and get free cause on a lot of this land. If you don't know the history of the Iberian Peninsula, very briefly, This area was owned by the Visigoths in a very decentralized kingdom until the rise of Islam, and as Islam swept across North Africa, they then continued their sweep straight into Iberia. They were relatively unopposed. The Visigoths were very decentralized and didn't really band together to hold back the incoming Islamic invasion. The Muslims kept going until they were famously defeated at Tours, which is somewhere up here, by a relatively centralized French state, managed to drive them back, and they held most of this land except for this very northernmost area here, which is held by a Christian kingdom of Asturias. Asturias split into three, and there were some Aragonese. There was a bunch of kingdoms over here that split off from France, and then those many kingdoms reconquered most of Iberia, some of them reunifying, so Leon and Castile unified into Castile, as you can see, obviously. What's the one up here called? Galicia went on to form, I think Galicia formed Portugal and then lost Galicia to Castile. Something like that. Anyway, there was lots of Gavelkind shenanigans. But anyway, long story short, we down here are the last Muslims remaining, but there are some pretty substantial Muslim minorities in some of these countries. A press Sunni here, there's a majority Sunni. So there's some Sunnis still kicking around that we're going to want to liberate. So we're going to have to see what we can do to reconquer our peninsula, take it back from these darn Christians, and spread glorious Islam into Europe. We're going to try to conquer all of Iberia, and we'll probably want to take control of all of the Western Mediterranean and Tyrrhenian nodes in order to give us like massive trade power in Europe. In order to fuel that expansion and trade power, we're also going to look overseas. We're going to do what we can to make a huge colonial empire, and I mean huge. I want to zoom all the way out. I want to see that beautiful Granadan green. I really hope Cordoba is also green. If it's not, I may mod it so it's green. I want to see that beautiful Granadan green spread from Alaska all the way through the Americas, all the way across Africa. Spice Isles, I want Chinese holdings. I think we should have some Japanese trade ports. We're going to see what we can do to make the whole world bend the knee to the mighty Emirate of Cordoba. Now, for now, Granada. We'll see, though. It's going to be tough, because Castile's pretty strong. They are, of course, currently in their civil war, the War of the Two Peters, I believe it's called. Yes. So, we may want to jump on them and see what we can do. It looks like they've changed how the setup works. No one has any troops apart from these three, and I assume that's just an oversight, that these three do have troops. So I imagine the initial setup event will fire it. So this is the first time I've ever unpaused in the Heresy update. Actually, no, don't want to unpause yet. We've got merchants to put. Let's collect here. Can't reach here. Can't reach here. So I guess we'll just collect here as well. Cool. Decisions? Any decisions we want to take? Appoint favourite. Right, so we're a despotic monarchy, but we can appoint a favourite. Interesting. Okay. Lose 10 admin power, gain 15 legitimacy. The Emir picks a successor. Well, we should marry Fez first. Oh, yes, right. It's Rule Britannia, in case you hadn't noticed from the fact this is a new update. This is compatible with the 1.5 patch, huzzah. So we get the Rule Britannia missions, which is so cool. So a friend in Africa, if we can get Fez to like us and to have a royal marriage with them, we get some prestige. And if we can then ally them, we can get a whole load of diplo power. So I think an alliance with Fez anyway would be pretty useful. Fez is pretty strong, pretty large. They're friendly towards us. I think a marriage with them early just makes sense. Are they rival to Tunisia? They are. So maybe we don't want to also ally Tunisia, but we might try and play the field and get both of them. Fez is the more valuable ally right here at the start. Okay, it's alright. Welcome to MEIOU and Taxes 2.0. I think I'd probably say 2.05 now. Very well. Wal la gabla il Allah. There is no victor but God. Damn right. And all that. We're going to do, sure, add in a whole bunch of extra tags. Why not? Okay, so there our troops have just spawned. Cool. We do not have any trade ships. That's unfortunate. So yeah, we should appoint a favourite as soon as we got that marriage, didn't we? Yeah. Should we marry Tunis as well? I don't think we're going to want to declare war on Tunisia. So a marriage with them seems to have no major downsides. We have one more Diplo slot. We could try and work an alliance with Aragon, but I'd say that was pretty unlikely. Pretty unlikely to be able to make that work. Portugal, they've rivaled us. So, Tlemcen, maybe? I don't know. Sure, let's marry Tunisia. The isolate native nations. So you can speed the game up by basically deleting a whole bunch of native nations that are very isolated and don't really interact with people much. So yeah, we're going to get rid of them. It will make North African colonization slightly simpler, which I guess is, you know, in our favor, but it doesn't really bother me much. Give me the legitimacy back, please. The Emir picks a successor. The most devout one, the strongest one, the nicest one, the most studious one. Let chance decide, or I can't choose a favorite from among my children. Okay, so this is nice. Every time we get a new heir, we get a nice little buff. We don't have any war exhaustion, do we? No. I'll take the admin points, sure. A 614 Hassim, welcome to the family. I guess he was already one of our sons, so. And then you can just pick a new one if you want, at the cost of 40 legitimacy and 50 admin power, which is very powerful if you want to try and just re-roll heirs. Obviously, 40 legitimacy, very big hit, but still, that's pretty good. Decentralized civilization, no thank you. Introduce heir. It's extraordinarily cheap right now. And he does only have an average claim. I wonder if they're all going to just have average claims, though, because we're just introducing them like this. Let's try that. Not going to donate. Pilgrimage to Mecca. We are going to want to go fanatic, probably. Well, let's consider our ideas. We have an Iberian combination family, which gives cheaper idea cost, nice. Tolerance of religion up, nice. Accepted cultures up, okay, interesting. Diplomatic annexation cost down. Tolerance of heathens -1. Stability increase interval plus 20%. That's so bad. Oof, that's a rubbish set of ideas overall. Is there any way we're going to be able to change our primary culture? Not really. I think Castilian is the same. Let's check. Let's just look at Castile's ideas for a second. Yeah, it's the same. Well, I guess we're just going to have to live with it. Cheaper ideas, that's good. More fort defense, 2.5% more fort defense. Wow, you're too generous. Heretics and heathens, oh, that's brilliant. So we get -1 tolerance of heathens here, and +1 here. That's so annoying. I might actually change that. Because that means, you know, low tolerance is good, because it ends up giving you more conversion. And high tolerance is good, because it ends up giving you more tolerance and more religious unity. But having both conflicting, that sucks. I may actually just go and change that so that this gives us more tolerance of heretics, but not more tolerance of heathens. Maybe. I know it would be cheaty, but I don't know. We could also make it give us like more colonial range or something, like 25% increased colonial range, and we could just to make it like make sense lore-wise for us because we're going to go colonial. Beacon of Learning, advisor costs, and tech costs down. Tech cost is lovely, of course. Advisor costs get really high later in the game, so that modifier will matter for naught. Strait of Gibraltar is good. Trade power abroad is very, very powerful. 10% more trade power abroad is going to be wonderful. There's trade range, good. Caravan power as well. Manpower, cav compatibility. Cav compatibility, not very important, but manpower, extremely valuable. Missionary strength up, very nice. So, do we go humanist? Or do we go converting? Well, trade ideas hurts your piety, or rather lowers it towards secularism. But the future trade idea groups, which we will definitely want to take as we build our great trade empire, don't. It's a tricky one. I've really enjoyed going religious ideas recently. I think the amount of Catholic land I'm going to want to conquer, because we are going to want to conquer all this, we should really go piety. I really enjoyed going piety in my Roman campaign as well. It's been working really well recently. So I think we're going to go piety. We're going to go popular religion and stuff. So yeah, more fanaticism. Sounds good. We get, this is only for, well, like 6 months or something. More prestige, more legitimacy. And I think you get a bonus from having done this as well. So, sure. Pursue religious tolerance? No. Legitimacy from the Caliph? We don't need that. It just gives unrest. Religion options? We could do an ahistorical religious setup. You know what? Yeah. People were asking for me to do an ahistorical religious setup. I think it's a very good idea. Let's make it funky. This may crash the game, which is why I'm saving. But let's enable a bunch of wacky religious setups. Pay no attention to the dates on the Empire of the Roman campaign. I'm a long way ahead, I know. Okay, religious options. Fantasy scenario in Western Europe. What if the French king had tolerated the Cathars? Duelist becomes the new state religion of Trieste. Papal state moves to Rome, and they get Rome. Duelist converts a whole bunch of France. Hell yeah, let's do it. Okay, so welcome to the world, Toulouse. Which is, sorry, Armagnac, who's a vassal of Toulouse. What's going on here? Okay, and it's all Cathar, sorry, Duelist rather, down here in the south. In fact, it's Duelist all the way down into Aragon as well. Interesting. That will make it unlikely that Castile and Aragon will keep getting on for a while. Cool. What else? Fantasy scenarios, Western Europe. What if Granada had reunited the Caliphate? Well, that's kind of cheating. I don't think we can enable that one. Just give us a whole bunch of land. No, we're going to reunite the Caliphate on our own. Don't need to do that. Eastern Europe. What if the Bogomils survived in the Balkans? Okay, so the Bogomils were a dualist Christian sect that began in Bulgaria in the 10th century. They believed the physical world was created by the devil, and that good Christians must focus on the spiritual world. It's a really interesting position, actually. I've written an essay on these guys. They're interesting. The movement was persecuted by local authorities and eradicated from Byzantium in the 12th century. So what if they survived in the Balkans? Let's see, what's that done? Oh, look at these dualist sections splitting up. This is fantastic. This might really slow down the Reformation because there's so many less Catholics. What else? Eastern Europe. What if the Vikings rejected Christianity? Hell yeah. Okay, so Astoru now reigns supreme over Scandinavia. Excellent, excellent. New fantasy scenario. Eastern Europe. What if the Slavs had rejected Christianity? Oh, look at this. That color is awful on the eyes. That flickering. Okay, so we've got... what is this? Rodnoveri. Okay. Next, next, next. What if Romans had restored paganism? They go Hellenic. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Orthodoxy. You barely exist now. So I don't think that'll make any real difference, because Hellenic's just going to get wiped out by Sunni, just like Orthodox normally gets wiped out by Sunni, but hey, it's fun. What else? Western Europe? No, we're not giving ourselves that one. That's definitely cheating. North Africa and the Near East. What if the Coptic Rebellion had been successful? Miaphysite becomes a new state religion of the Mamluks. Awesome. Hell yeah. The Coptic Rebellion was successful in Egypt, and that's going to seriously weaken Sunni, which is good. That makes gives someone for us to fight. Awesome. So there's been a Coptic Rebellion, and the Mamluks have been forced to convert. What else? What else? What else? What if a new Persian dynasty rose up? Zoroastrian! Hell yeah! There we go. Welcome to the world, Persia. And welcome back to the world, state Zoroastrianism. Awesome. I know this is taking a second, but I think these are really cool. And so I hope you give me a second. What if the Innomates survived? Fez gains a core on a bunch of places. And they get a bunch of troops. I'm not going to do this one because I don't want to affect my starting situation too much. What if the Arabs had revolted against Egyptian rule? Some Wahhabis rise up. Excellent. Sounds good. Next. What if the Jews had been a content client state? So rather than there being a big Jewish rebellion, there was in fact a Jewish state that managed to survive by staying loyal to the Romans rather than trying to oust them. Okay. What else? Asia. I think I'm going to leave Asia the same. Well, I mean, sure. Throw some Sikhs in there. Get some... what if the Great Khan converted to Christianity instead of Islam? God, that would have been an incredibly different world. Let's do it. What else? What else? I should have done this before the start of the episode. I know. I'm sorry. What if the Muslims had never invaded India? Sure. What if Soga had failed to seize the throne? I don't know what that means. I think that's Japan. Okay, so I think that's all of them. What if the Mongols stayed true to their roots? No, we've made them accept Christianity. So I think that's all the ones we want to do. Yes. Okay, so we look at a substantially different world than you're normally used to. Huge dualist sects. Christianity's Eastern Crusades never really succeeded. The Khan accepted Christianity, which I think there's a bunch of Christians just here somewhere. We've got a whole load of Chaldeans being ruled over down here. So we've got a Christian Jalaiirids, interesting. We've got a Christian Egypt as well. This is a wacky world we've created. Hellenic, of course. All right, but let's return to our neck of the woods. We'll see how the world plays out differently now that we've done all that. All right, enough of those, enough of those, enough of those. We don't want to be able to form the Spanish nation. It's a bug, in fact, that we can. It's already been fixed in the main version of the mod. Restore the Caliphate of Cordoba. Obviously, you want to know as soon as we can do that. Awesome. We're the principal crown. We just need to get bigger. And then we can do that. Need to wait for our estates to form. So missions that we're going to want to go after. If we can get this area, you can see on the map how it's highlighting purple. Fantastic feature. I'm really pleased with that one. Then we get claims on Toledo and Extremadura, I think. And then we claim a bit more. We get some base urban gravity for 20 years in our capital. Nice. Our capital's in a great spot. I'm very pleased with this location. We might still move to Seville. Because Sevilla is just slightly closer to the New World. So we may move over here. But for now, when we get to the New World, that is. But for now, I'm very content over here. Rivals. Let's rival Portugal. Do we want to straight away rival Trasdamara? Just declare our intent. Yes, I think we do. Mission fulfilled. Protect our lands. We can get land and Spotify 15 years. Sounds good. Protect our capital. We have to have a castle there. And have 4,000% garrison. What? Don't know what that means. Interesting. We are too many diplomatic relations? But we had 2 slots. Oh, right, but our pilgrimage. That's just temporary. That's fine. We don't have the money. We definitely don't have the money for advisors. We barely have enough money to maintain our current troop count. We should probably get a general straight away. We only have 13 now. We might want to get one from the estates, actually. Okay, let's unpause. What's the plan here? Let's pause it again. Pause it again. Fez Alliance? Absolutely. Okay, as soon as that alliance goes through, let the game do its ticking here at the beginning. Let's drop a save. Another one. Now we've set up all the fantasy scenarios, because this is going to be a tough start. We may well have to run it a few times before we actually get it going. By turning on the duelist in France, I think I have accidentally made it easier for myself by making Aragon duelist, but that's okay. I'm not that fussed. So we've completed the Friend in Africa mission. Great. Prestige and Diplo power. Alliance in the south. Prestige and Diplo power. Fantastic. Okay. Colonial ideas. Once you have questioned new pearl and sheltered ports. What does sheltered ports mean? Oh, I think that's another idea. Okay. We can get 15 prestige and we can go on to discovering the Caribbean and stuff, getting some nice boosts to colonial range, settler increase, all that good stuff. Okay, for now, so they're being the Castilians are being ravaged by their pretender rebels, and Trasdamara is weak right now. We only have humiliate rival against Trasdamara. We need a claim war. I'm hopeful that we can get a claim war won against Trasdamara before they have a chance to reunify with Castile. Startup initialization incoming. Brace yourselves. Trust me, it'll be fine. So there's a whole load of events and modifiers and things that get applied. We'll just sit tight and wait our way through that. I think we should also spy immediately on Castile. So they have rival Tlemcen. The Sunni faith. I want all news, please. Ooh, you can invest in a new idea and it will give us innovativeness, a new mechanic. So, innovativeness. If you're the first to get a new technology, you get +2. First idea, you get +1. Being ahead of time gives you 0.005 per month. If you're behind your neighbours, you get -0.03 per month. And if you get to 100, you get more unrest, but also more production efficiency, more global institution spread, and more tax. Okay, it's different from vanilla. That's interesting. More unrest is pretty harsh, but that's a lot of income you'd get from it. Cool. Cool. Mine Complex didn't used to unlock at Serfdom, I don't think. Or are we just ahead of time? Oh, didn't used to start at Tech 4? Maybe I'm crazy. I think they're Hellenic. That's so cool. I really like this. Some of you may dislike it, but I think it's fun. Wacky. Make it a different campaign. We're going mostly colonial anyway, so we're mostly going to be concerning ourselves with our local region and then overseas. So we can immediately take trade manipulation. And I think we should. I'm in no desperate hurry to get this 1% trade efficiency. I mean, come on. And 1 innovativeness. Fantastic. Which gives us 0.2 production efficiency, 0.1 tax modifier. We're rich. New ideas. Send missionaries to our neighbours. No, it's too expensive. Oh wait, it doesn't cost money anymore. Just admin power and 1 missionary. You could cause some unrest in Castile, but I don't think that's necessary. Policies. I normally start off straight away with this, but I want to be able to fabricate the claims. So I don't think we're going to do that. Have we got our estates yet? No. Okay, we're losing money, which is a problem. I should probably drill my army as soon as we can. Succession of the such and such alliance with Hungary, okay. Let's turn down our maintenance right now. Good, we're in the green again. We do currently have a truce with Trastamara and Castile for 4 years. And then once that runs out, we will get an event saying, would you like to pay 100 ducats? Or at least this was in the previous version. Might have changed. For all I know, it might have changed. We get a pop-up saying, would you like to pay tribute to Castile? And if you agree to pay tribute when Castile demands it, and I think they always demand it. Oh, do we just get some trade ships? No. You get a 10-year truce. As long as you're willing to pay over and over again. So, one thing you can try is just paying your... Fez has embraced legalism. Ooh, welcome to the freaking club, Fez. Come on, keep up. Is this legalism split looks different to me. I thought legalism was already established in Eritrea when I last looked. In my last campaign, that is. Interesting. What was I saying? Yeah, so one play we could do is just pay the tribute over and over again while we try to go to war with Aragon or Fez or whatever. I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're going to try a bull in a china shop approach. We're going to go straight for Castile. And we're going to see what we can do to gain some land from them in the very early game. Which, you know, could be disastrous failure. We'll see. In case you're not aware, by the way, the civil war between Trastamara and Castile ends when one of them gets a personal union over the other or when one of their ruler dies. So we're waiting on that. Islamic trusts. Gain 5 church influence. That's not good. Well, actually, we might be okay with some church influence in this campaign. I've been coming around to the idea of it not always being a really bad thing in the Roman campaign. I knew about its bonuses before, of course. It's such a hard sell to me. Plus 2 missionaries from 55? No, that's rounding up, and it doesn't actually round up. But yeah, okay. They are essential to the function of the church. High church influence basically allows you to convert places, which is why I consider it so important in some kinds of campaigns. And we've got, in case you haven't noticed, we've got a lot of converting to do. All these Christians, be they dualists or Catholics, they got to go. So Fez doesn't have enough ships to ensure a victory over a strong Castilian navy, especially if Castile allies with Portugal. So we must pray that they do not. Portugal right now, I think, is at their alliance limit. Let's see. No, they're not at their alliance limit. So they might ally Castile once Castile's war ends. We do have plentiful manpower modifier right now, which is lovely. Got our states yet? We do indeed. Okay, less enable. Well, some of them, but I can't interact with them yet. Fair enough. We'll just be patient. We could turn off our forts. And we should. We've got a truce with our enemies right now, and we've got no rebels or anything, so that makes sense to me. Are we below a force limit? Let's have a look. A little look-see. No, but I think the estate's autonomy hasn't calculated yet, possibly. So we may be at the force limit. Our ruler has gone on pilgrimage has expired, so it doesn't actually give you a long-term modifier. What's the term for a Muslim who's made pilgrimage to Mecca? I can't remember the term. I only know it from CK2. I can't remember what it is. Never mind. So we're making absolutely glorious ducats right now. Why is that? Just trade and taxation. Sorry, production and taxation. We do have the largest city on the subcontinent, an important centre of trade, and this wonderful silk production going for us. Okay. Well, we've gone slightly long this episode because I wanted to give a big intro, but that is the end of the episode for today. There will be another one going up later today, and then I will resume one episode per day after that. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you're looking forward for our global Granada campaign in the Heresy update 2.5 MEIOU and Taxes. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.